then. I'll have to go and chat at him. Anyway, we've got another PvZ on our hands. I have stated in the past this is one of my favourite matchups. I think it's one of the most varied at the moment in the metagame. It's going to be between Selendis again and her opponent. So shall we introduce these players, Louis?
Absolutely, spawning in a bomb right position here on Newkirk Precinct while I'm getting you the great screen is the Purple Powers NM's Selendis.
Selendis showing some excellent results in the last couple of rounds. Really scrappy game on Newkirk that we on Neo Planet that we just saw. Her opponent this time though will be another Zerg player. It is spawning in the bottom left-hand position of the map, Mitsuray.
Indeed, and right now
Team
VAV.
I'm not quite sure what VAV is. Have you heard of VAV?
VAV.
Vavavoom.
Vavavoom. I'm not sure, to be honest. I'm gonna have to double check that afterwards. I'm actually not too sure what NM is for either. I really haven't checked up too much of the players because actually, like when I watched the list of players, I haven't casted any of them before. I think, except for Selendis, and Selendis is like the one I didn't actually check up on. So it was like, you know,
well, just she's your only friend, right?
We're not really friends yet. Basically, I consider her a friend. She doesn't know I exist, basically. So.
I mean, that's like all of your friendships, though.
Yeah, that's true. So what's friendships?
How did? Have you got any information about Selendis for us? Because obviously you've casted her in the past. Have you are you aware of anything?
Oh god, that's one of the harder questions. Well, of course it was from the last Go Fresty 2 Cup, so she's from Poland. Obviously.
Yep. Makes sense.
Yeah, yep, makes sense. So anyhow, not too sure. Like, you know, pros played against her, full played very well. Don't seem to have a really common style though. I mean, rather not uncommon, to be honest. Like, you know, doesn't have a refined style or defined style. You know, more like, you know, just doing whatever really suits this certain game, and it's a really cool style to see. But it's not like, you know, Goody has mech, Bly has mech, Lucky has links, you know, that kind of thing.
Yeah, I think that's a very fair assessment. I mean, we've seen two very different games from her thus far. She did opt for a gateway expand, and I really liked the decision from her opponent Mitsuray to go for double hatch before pool. I think this is a brilliant way to, I kind of think, outthink the gateway expand. You're not going to be under any threat from cannon play. So if you're able to get a pool relatively fast enough, get your economy up into such a position that you're safe, and then have queens out in time for when that zealot stalker mothership core kind of pressure arrives. Speaking of which, there is a zealot making its way over out of the natural ramp of Selendis, so I think she's going to look to do a little bit of pressure with that as well. We did see that in the previous game too. So the probe for Selendis, of course, also spotted that third base too. So she's very aware of what her opponent is up to at the moment.
Oh, and she actually forgot to make the warp gate for quite some time there, I do believe. So that was a bit of a mistake, but right now we do have it, like, as you said, you know, the Mothership Core on the way, or rather on the way to the base of Mitsuray, and right now we also have the second Zealot on the way. But the thing is that when you go for this kind of build, you know, the double hatch before pool, your pool is so extremely late that this kind of aggression, if Selendis actually just went for the base of Mitsuray, she could do so much damage.
Yeah, she certainly could. Still, she did decide to go for the third base, and that's what the Zealots there doing. There's actually a probe also doing some work on the drone there, saying, "Hey drone, you can't mine here. This is our territory."
Oh,
and the Mothership Core joining up there as well. And in fact, she's just about to throw down her Nexus. This probe was sneaking around the front of the natural, and I thought maybe she was going to hide a 4-gate behind this as well. But we'll have to see what the follow-up is here. Drones have been pulled, and they do manage to pin one of the Zealots up here against the wall. One of them goes down there, and I think he's going to get another one as soon. No, just going to escape there. Mothership Core raining down on top of them. And I think these Zealots are going to do a lot of damage before they finally get taken out. In fact, they may not yet get taken out still. Taking out so many drones have gone down so far, working their way through, chewing their way down these Zealots, these drones and lings as well.
Yeah, and a third Zealot is on the way, and this didn't even die! 4 health left with 3 kills right now. Warner Kite, though, gets killed by 1 drone. Great work here, and Mothership Core killing off so many drones. We have 8 drones killed so far by Selendis, 5 just from the Mothership Core, and these Zealots are doing quite a great job here. With that Queen, though, might get a bit harder. Getting surrounded is the Zealot, and that Queen will kill the Mothership Core if the Zealot doesn't help. And it looks like Mitsuray has held for now, but he did lose 8 workers. Was it worth it for Selendis to do this kind of question, is the question, though?
Well, I mean, she saved the crucial gas investment, which was the mothership core, and she forced a whole bunch of Zerglings. In fact, there was a pylon here planted, a cheeky pylon planted in the main of Mitsuray, which has been spotted. Lings do get a good surround on that. She forced a ton of Lings out of her opponent who is actually tied on drone on work account to her. So she completely nullified the potential economic advantage that Mitsuray would have gotten from that double hatch before pool opening. So I thought that was definitely worth it. Her follow-up is going to be incredibly aggressive as well, as we've got 4 warp gates currently being transformed there as the warp gate has finished. There's a robo coming to finish off, and I think with pylons dotted about the map and the mothership core still in position, threatening the third base, I feel like she's going to get aggressive very, very shortly. You think?
Yeah, I think so as well. And right now we do see the robo here, and Mitsuray did scout the robo as well after being just before getting killed by the sentry, not after. That would be really weird. And with the 4 gates though, Conan warping such a huge amount of work not workers but units. I'm just messing up completely right now. Anyhow, no upgrades though for Selendis. And Mitsuray, he does have those 11 links out. They will help so much, but the more cells you get, the less the links actually worth per link, to be honest.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think, and we've got actually 4 zealots have worked their way into the main as well, and this hatchery is so low, I think she might just try and target it down almost immediately, and yeah, that looks to be what she's going to be able to do. Going to be able to recall as well, but chooses not to bother. I think she's just going to try and focus down the hatchery, and there goes the recall, but no, the mothership core gets taken out just at the last instant. Does get the hatchery though, and that's the crucial part of this.
Yeah, indeed, that is so huge, and right now, Mitsuray must just remake that or go forward, and here we go, you see the remade hatchery right here now. Has a ton of lava as well, so she can spend that extra 5 lava. Has 28 lava radio now? What? And that is a ton of, drones you can make, or links. Right now, droning up behind this, going for some push, though, with the links now actually backing off a bit. And that warp prism was scouted. I do believe it was scouted by the one overlord, because of the fact that we do see that really quick pullback by Mitsuray. And, oh, it's sentries in the warp prism.
So looking to get the force field down on the ramp here and block access to the main. This warp prism is dropping in, but all those lings have already arrived, and I feel like this is going to be just fast enough of a response from Mitsuray. I like the decision to burrow the spore crawler in a kind of a threatening position to that warp prism as well. It's currently posturing right outside that extractor. Meanwhile, this warp prism is getting chased and followed around by those lings. And we actually have a spire on the way from Mitsuray, who did get up to lair in the meantime. Drops a sentry, managed to get a force field, but I'm not sure how much more this is going to do. Oh, there is a big warp in of zealots, and more force fields getting planted down on the ramp too.
This could actually do some nice damage. Of course, we'll see quite a big... much more cells coming in here to this natural of Mitsuray. And more force fields going down. Still 2 left, I do believe, or even 3 perhaps. And those drones pulling off and trying to kill off those sentries. Might get one of the sentries. Just get the force field off before dying. Great moves here by Selendis. Might lose the one sentry, though doesn't want to do that. And of course, will kill the natural. And this is huge by Selendis, and Mitsuray so far behind because of this.
Yeah, Mitsuray massively behind because of this. Needs to make sure he can clean up some of these zealots. The hatchery does get finally targeted down. We have roaches spawning out, and this was a great choice from Mitsuray. This is going to be able to help him push this force back. But the question is this too little too late?
I do believe it might be. I mean, they're doing so much damage right now, those cells to the lings. And of course, with the roaches, he will be able to clean those up eventually. But the thing is that right now, Selendis is just making sure that she's fine on 2 bases. She doesn't have to take the third. Often, the Cell gets on 3 bases, and, the process feels so obligated to just go for all in or get a 3rd base herself. And right now, we instead see, denying 1 base at a time without actually overcommitting to it, and, just killing off so much of the economy of Mitsuray, keeping him back so much, while Selendis is just getting more and more stuff out. And we see a second robo, more and more immortals coming out, +1/+1 on the way. Just amazing moves here from Selendis. But Mitsuray, as you said, getting the spy on +1 attack, which might spell catastrophe for Selendis.
Yeah, I mean, the double robo, it's quite strong against most things, but Mutalisks are not one of those things. Meanwhile, this warp prism, there was another warp prism made, and that's going to be dropping 4 zealots into the main here as well. I believe this was spotted by Mitsuray. He's bringing his forces back as well. So, yeah, this has been spotted, and at least these zealots are going to be able to get a read off on the spire as well. Hopefully, they're going to be able to get to that part of the main and be able to see it. Just wailing away on the lair at the moment, and I'm not sure if that was the correct decision. We've got a lot of roaches here, and they're going to be able to kill these zealots very quickly. Meanwhile, more Zealots are actually working their way over towards the third as well. Huge warp-ins here from Selendis, and she's got a Templar Archives finishing up too, but there are 9 Mutalisks in production.
Ooh, and this is going to be so hard for Selendis to hold in the beginning. We do see quite a few sentries out, and these cells, though, doing quite a nice amount of damage, killing off a queen even, and doing so much damage to that one hatchery. And the thing that the Selendis is doing right now is just back and forth, getting those cells in, but now scouting those Mutalisks with a Warp Prism. A great thing for her. Of course, the Warp Prism will be killed, but that's a cheap price to pay, to be honest, to scout those Mutants in time and be able to get ready for them.
Yeah, I mean, it's a saving grace, really, that at least she knows that her opponent's economy is so wounded that he's not going to be able to make a ton of Mutalisks. That number's never going to be huge. At the moment, the count is standing at 13, and, you know, Mitsuray's going to hopefully look to try and get up to, say, a good, nice number like 20, but it's going to take him a while, especially if he loses a few Mutalisks cheaply in the middle of the map. No, just manage to save them. They are obviously Heart of the Swarm Mutalisks and have some nice restorative speed properties as well. Just dancing around, he's got a nice bunch of roaches as well, moving in for the flank here and managing to take out a probe as well. The Stalkers are going to get caught out by some of these, so there goes the Guardian Shield. Great forces to block off some of these roaches' access, and a lot of those Mutalisks do get caught out in the middle, and they're going to get shot down by some of these Stalkers too. Doing good damage though on the other hand, and these sentries are getting picked off one by one by the Mutalisks. Down go a few of them, but these Mutalisks are getting killed off in piecemeal here. Only a few of them left. He's cut that number back down to 9. We've got 4 more on the way, but this is still a very strong Protoss army, and the roaches aren't going to be able to touch it with 4 Immortals as well.
Indeed, it's going to be so hard to hold this, to be honest. And right now, more and more Stalkers on the way for Selendis, seeing them walk across the map. And with a forward pylon here, she might even push for the third base. It does look like she will. And those mutants, of course, being quite a few of them right now, 13, soon to be 17. And those 17 mutants will be able to do quite a bit of damage. But with a +1/+1 finish against only +1 attack for Mitsuray, he's in such a terrible position, and Selendis right now might just push up and end this game right here now, it looks like.
Yeah, it certainly does. There's one unit that she does have the tech access to. As you see, actually, hang on, a huge Mutalist ball coming in, moving in. Force fields go down, preventing the drones from getting this around as well. The Stalkers are going to try and do work against the Mutalists as well, but they are getting cleaved through one by one. The more Mortals are getting targeted as well by the other link. But actually, the ground army for Mitsuray has been completely cleaned up, and it's just Stalkers left. But hang on a second, there's not enough anti-air here, and the Mutalists power through and also take out these Immortals as well in due course. 4 Stalkers arrive, but there's not enough anti-air here for Protoss.
Indeed, it does look like that is the case here, and right now though, Selendis is just running with those units. Of course, will be picked off by the Mutants, so quick they are. But right now though, 16 mutants on the map, nothing for Selendis to hold it with except those few Stalkers just warped in, 6 of them. She must get enough Stalkers to just hold on for now. Remember though, she is ahead in upgrades even against the Mutalisk, and she's getting the Stargate right now. That's a great move. With the Phoenix, she'll be able to kill all those mutants with such ease. And of course, she keeps denying that third base of Mitsuray. It's so annoying, but still hasn't gotten up her third base yet, and that is really tearing on her mineral fields in the natural right now.
Yeah, I completely agree with you. I'm not actually sure, just, you know, Phoenix is one at a time. It's not necessarily going to be able to help against so many Mutalisks. We're already up into the 20s now. And in fact, this Warp Prism here in the main is going to get cut down very, very quickly. There are Mutalisks arriving on the scene, going to be able to kill off some of those Zealots. As I was saying earlier, these Zealots getting cleaned up as well. As I was saying earlier, there's one tech structure that Selendis actually built but has not used thus far, and that was the Templar Archives. If she'd have gotten 2, 3, 4 Archons maybe into that last engagement, I think that would have gone much better for her as well.
Yeah, I think so as well. I mean, with those Archons, she could have killed so many mutants. They just stack up if you don't mark them correctly, and it's so easy to just stack them up. But I mean, with the double Stargate and with the Fleet Beacon, she's doing one thing really great, and I just wait a second here. Here comes the Mutalisk, and already with Photon Overcharge. Great choice here by Selendis. Must kill as many mutants as possible. Every mutant counts at this point, and has to micro those Phoenix as well. Doesn't lose a single one so far, but losing many Stalkers here. Not the best for Selendis at this point. Mitsuray killing off quite a few units. Also losing a few mutants though, so it's kind of back and forth at this point, but the mutants doing so much damage, and Selendis right now must get some anti-air because Mitsuray right now controlling the map so much.
Yeah, Mitsuray definitely controlling the map and is actually controlling the supply and the tempo of this game. Yeah, the second starport finished up, so Phoenixes are now going to be produced 2 at a time. There is Phoenix range on the way as well, those Anion Pulse Crystals. We have an engagement, another one here. Photon Overcharge still active. The Phoenix count is now climbing, it's now at 4. As soon as it gets up into the low 10s, around that kind of number, these Mutalisks are really going to struggle, especially with that range attack finishing up. So I think with 6 more Mutalisks coming out and the number now up to 28, Mitsuray really needs to make sure he gets a lot of work done.
Oh, the Artosis pylon.
Takes up another pylon here.
Oh.
This could be huge. He depowers quite a lot of tech structures here. There's so many Phoenix out already, though. Ooh, needs to be careful with that micro, though.
Yeah, there's 26 Mutas out right now. We see 5 Phoenix right now. 2 of them getting killed, of course, but right now 2 at a time being made. And right now she's forcing Mitsuray, though, into this really awkward composition of Corruptor Muta if he really wants to stick to Muta. Otherwise, he will need to transition quite soon out of Muta, which means that Selendis will get the opening to get a third and more Mutas out. So if Selendis just keeps making more and more Phoenix, she should be fine with the range against the Mutalisk. So Mitsuray must start the Corruptor production or switch units quite soon. He can't just keep making Mutalisk. In that case, he has to hope for just the perfect engagement.
Yeah, and it looks like Selendis' micro is pretty much on point as well, especially with the Phoenix range being upgraded. It's so easy just to kite these Mutalisks indefinitely, and I think Mitsuray now realizes he's going to have to back off, and I think, yeah, you're going to have to see some Corruptors if he wants to continue with this Sky-based composition.
Yeah, and the problem with that is then you actually don't get way too many ground upgrades. We see right now only +2 for air right now, and more Mutas out. No Corruptors in sight, which is just terrible for Mitsuray at this point. He must get those Corruptors out, but he's not at the moment. And we see already close to 11. Yeah, there we go, 11 Phoenix with range. And even though there are a ton of Mutas out, we're gonna see 41 Mutalisk. Oh my god! But still,
wow.
As long as Selendis micro this, she should be fine.
Yeah, she absolutely should be, and in fact, I think maybe Mitsuray is just now beginning to realize this. There are so many Mutalisks, 5 more being added to the flock. He's going to go up to about 40. This is craziness. Selendis is not stopping to make Phoenixes, and if all Mitsuray commits to tech-wise are the Mutalisks, then Selendis is going to be so happy. The run-bys with the Zealots are doing great work as well. Managing to work their way onto this third base as well. And in the meantime, Selendis is kind of realizing that she's regaining map control, and that's why we see the third base finishing up too.
Yeah, indeed. And if she just can get that, Gateway army up with the upgrades as well, she, especially those Zealots, she can do such a great job there. And oh, we see these Phoenixes killing off quite a few Mutalisks. Has to make sure she does not lose any Phoenix, though. Every Phoenix counts at this point. But right now, if she gets those Zealots out, she can be in such a great position getting the third up.
Yeah, she really can. Mitsuray sending a few Lings over to this third, really wants to try and deny that. There are only 3 sentries on the ground there, although this Mothership Quad does have full energy, so it's going to be able to throw down a Photon Overcharge. Throws it down, and there we go. Good. Phoenix is coming in, picking up Zerglings. That's so frustrating when you're forced to pick up Zerglings as a Protoss player. It's like the hardest thing to click on. Mutalisk coming in to try and finishing off this Nexus. I'm not sure. This is a bold move here from Mitsuray. I think he's going to look to just kill it off rapidly. But unfortunately, there are a lot of Phoenixes here, and they're going to be able to get a lot of these Mutalisks down. Mitsuray here did manage to get the Nexus, and it did go down. But there are plenty of Phoenixes here, and they're already doing great work against these Mutalisks.
Indeed. Oh, though, Selendis must be so careful. One missed micro here, and Mitsuray will kill off so many Phoenix right now. We do see 36 Mutas against 9 Phoenix only. So Selendis right now must get those more and more Phoenix. I would actually like to see almost one more Stargate being placed if she could just afford it. But the third being down right now is so bad for her. And oh, missing the micro for 1 second. Losing almost all of the Phoenix here.
Yeah, sorry for that almost cattle bell that sounded like from me, but that was a huge engagement coming out there, and Mitsuray managing to get off so many Phoenixes from a sloppy micro mistake there, unfortunately, from Selendis. Wow, doing so much damage here with these Mutalisks, and I think this has paid off in the end, just simply because, unfortunately for Selendis, she just wasn't looking at just the wrong time.
Yeah, that was it does look like that was the case here, and even though she's trying to hold on right now, I think it's the best of 1, and she doesn't want to lose, because she really thinks, this is the late Ignite Cup, you don't really want to lose this early into the stages of the tournament, but it looks like this might be the case here, trying to hold on as best as she can, not producing anything at the moment though, mined out actually, no more minerals for Selendis, and it looks like it's going to be GG in just a few seconds here.
Yeah, it really does. GG, well played, comes out from Selendis. GG in respect from Mitsuray. A lot of respect from these players, obviously. Mitsuray playing well there, just committed to the Mutalisks, and obviously very faithful in his ability to bounce back and forth and not take too much damage from even fully upgraded Phoenixes.
And it is just great micro here from Mitsuray. It's so hard actually to micro against Phoenix if the opponent is microing them as well. And there we go. Selendis just dancing about with those Phoenix. Just beautiful dancing here. And of course, she knows she can't win this game right now because, you know, losing the Nexus, no probes left, almost 24 in the natural, can't mine at the moment. And all those mutas could just, you know, A-move into the Phoenix if they wanted to. And more coming out, so she just should leave any minute now. Just, you know, want to hold on and just have a bit of fun before she goes.
Those Mutalisks, they really worked well for Mitsuray. It's not often you see just pure Mutalisks working well against Phoenix, and I think Mitsuray was just looking for that opening where he could catch Selendis making a mistake, and unfortunately for him, that's what he was able to do. Really entertaining game though, and yeah, unfortunate for Selendis that she